Hello and welcome to another weekly draft video here on the Nitsuhon Magic channel. This week is more Magic Origins. We are, though, reaching near the end of Magic Origins drafts. I think there's only two more after this week, and then it'll be Battle for Zendikar time, so that is on its way. Looks like we're waiting for one more person, and once the draft fires, I will resume recording. Alright, about to see our first pack in this Origins draft. And we got Priest of the Bloodright. It's an incredibly powerful card. Hard to imagine there's anything in this pack that would take over it. Aerois' Champion is probably the next best card in this deck. It's one of the better of the gold cards in this format, I think. You can just, it's 3 mana for 4 power, basically, and it goes really well with red and white, who's just filled with, playable enchantments like this Grasp here. The next best card in here is probably Lightning Javelin. It's a pretty strong pack in general, though. Almost all the cards in it, I'd say, are playable, except for Vine Snare, Night Snare, and Brawler's Plate. But everything else is pretty good. But we're going to take the Priest of the Blood for sure. Hope we can stay in black. Now we have a Vryn Wingmare, which is a pretty good card. But we have a Wild Instincts, and I think that's probably where I go here. The Wingmare is quite good. I could take this and just sort of force elves, but I don't really like doing that. Unless... if it came back around to me, I'd think about it, especially because we're taking Wild Instincts anyway. We're in green, so we have or black-green could be elf deck anyway. So the Shaman I would take if it came back for sure. And yeah, this pack is not as strong as our earlier one was, I don't think. The Shaman, the Wingmare, Wild Instincts are really the only 3, I'd say, strong cards in the pack. The rest of the cards are mostly playable, but nothing exciting. But we'll take the Instincts. Okay, Undercity Troll right after that, and that is what I'm going to take here. He's one of the better 2-drops in the format, and a format filled with good 2-drops, so it's definitely what we take. There's a Read the Bones here, which is nice, and a Rock Maulers, which is fine too, but the Undercity Troll is definitely the best thing here. It's our best card in the pack anyway, so we're happy to be taking the best card in the pack, especially when we already have one other card in that color. I've not yet built a green-black deck. I am recording this video quite a bit ahead of time of when it's actually being posted, but I have yet to build a green-black deck at this point. I've probably already done 25 or so drafts, maybe more. I don't know, maybe 30. And so green-black could be what's about to happen here. And there are a lot of elf synergies in green-black, so picking up elves do have a little bit more of a bonus than they normally do. Most of them are already really good anyway. So, okay, Nissa's Revelation, which is a pretty big card, both in mana curve and in the impact it can have on a game, but it's really only good if you have a bunch of other fatties in your deck. And yeah, we have Eyeblight Assassin and Yeva's Force Mage here. I like the Eyeblight Assassin more. I like the ability to destroy, a 1 toughness creature more than the ability to push through a creature. And we're liable to pick up at least 1 Force Mage, and it does work really well with Undercity Troll, that's for sure. But we're going to take the Eyeblight Assassin here. Enshrouding Mist is probably the best card in this pack, in a vacuum. And then Nissa's Revelation's up there too, but you do have to have a good ramp deck, which is kind of hard to build in this format, but we're going to take the Assassin. Elemental Bond, not really what I'm looking for. This pack's pretty uninteresting. Elemental Bond, it'll come back, if I really want it and to try to make it work. We probably just take the Deadbridge Shaman here. It's a good 3-drop, and, it's perfectly fine. Works pretty well with double instincts, Wild Instincts, I mean. Read the Bones is nice too, but I think we want to be more aggressive than casting Read the Bones on turn 3. We'd rather be playing a dude. So we'll take a dude. And there's another one. There's also an Unholy Hunger here, though, and I'm definitely going to take that. This means black's pretty open if Unholy Hunger's still around. This Gorger would go nice with that Nissa's Revelation if it comes back to us, but the Unholy Hunger is definitely what we take here. Nice removal spell that can kill anything. Okay, well now blue is looking really, really open. There is a Timberpack Wolf, but Bounding Crassus and Claustrophobia being here really makes me kind of wish I was in blue, but Timberpack Wolf is fine. We're liable to end up with more than one, and he's a fine 2-drop. It's tempting to take the Crassus and try to splash it. And maybe I should, but I'm going to go with the Timberpack Wolf. I think I'm going to take the Gnarlroot Trapper. It may end up getting into our deck, and it may not. Like I said, we already do have 2 elves, and we're probably going to get more. And so we'll take the Trapper. It works pretty well in this deck. I'll take a Zendikar's Royal here. Okay. It's either Macabre Waltz or Return Centaur for us, obviously. I think I take the Centaur for now. Okay. I'm going to take the Mighty Leap. I think it's the best card of the remaining cards in that pack. For no reason other than that, really. Green seems relatively open, if not incredibly open, because we saw a late Timberpack Wolf and a Zendikar's Royal. Black is definitely more open. Seeing a late Unholy Hunger is a pretty good indicator of that. I don't know how many elves. Like I said, I've actually not built a black-green deck, and not one with all these elf synergies. I'm not sure how good Gnarlroot Trapper will be in our deck, or how many elves I think I should have. But I'd say it's a pretty good number, probably like 6+ for me to want to run the Trapper. So maybe we open the Elf Lord in our next pack. That'd be nice. And the Royal, I think, can be pretty great. I mean, oftentimes it's sort of a 6-drop, because I'd rather play it on a turn where I can impact the board immediately than I would like just to play it. Like if I don't have any other 5-drop, I would play it. But if you can go Zendikar's Royal, play a land, it's better, in general. And then so you're impacting the board immediately. I'm gonna take a Warhorn here. Elves and the green-black archetype does have a tendency to swarm. I'll take the Pilgrimage. Probably won't make our deck unless we do end up going a ramp route. And now we'll take an island. Ooh, maybe we won't. Yeah, yes we will. Yeah, Warhorn's definitely good if you can swarm. I mean, it's probably best in the Thopter deck, but if we end up with a huge number of creatures, I'll probably run Warhorn. I'll put it in the sideboard for now, but we could end up playing it. Ooh, well, I have to take that. Not sure how much he's worth. Probably less than the other ones. But I think he's worth something. Got to take Kythian. Actually, he's only worth 3.5 tickets. But that's still enough to pay for a lot of a draft. What are we giving up here? We're giving up a Wild Instincts, giving up an Nantuko Husk, which does kind of suck. I wish there were nothing else good in this pack. I'm kind of inclined to actually take the Wild Instincts and let Kythian go. He's pretty good, obviously, in limited. And he's worth a few tickets, but I don't think we can go into white at this point. I mean, we could try, but I haven't seen a reason to do it yet. If he were worth more, I think I would probably take him, but I think I'm actually going to pass him, believe it or not, and take the Wild Instincts. It makes our deck a lot better. And yeah, we'll take the Wild Instincts. Someone else will be happy to get Kythian, I'm sure. So, okay, here is a pretty uninteresting pack for us. I don't really like Thornbow Archer, even in a deck with a bunch of elf synergies. I think I just take Might of the Masses as the good combat trick. Although there's also a Rogue's Passage, so I think I just changed my mind to that. Rogue's Passage can be really good. We're probably going to get some big creatures to make unblockable at some point, and it's even good with not big creatures. It can just change the game late for our opponent. So yeah, I'll take the Rogue's Passage here. Okay, Blightcaster, not really what we're looking for. Another Eyeblight Assassin, Yeva's Vorst Mage. Of course, now there's all these good white cards we're seeing, so someone to our left is going to be really happy. Eyeblight Assassin, or Yeva's Force Mage. We had this decision before, and I think I go with the Assassin yet again. Yeah, we'll take the Assassin. It's just can be a 2-for-1 so often that I like it. So I like it a little more than Yeva's Force Mage. Zendikar's Royal is a little better if we have Nissa's Pilgrimage, but I don't really think that's what we Like, I don't want to be running it just for that. I'd want, some bigger drops if I decide that I want to run Nissa's Pilgrimage. Gnarl Root Trapper does have 3 elves to ramp into turn 2 if we played on turn 1, and elves to give Death Touch to. Okay. Well, we definitely want Eyeblight Massacre. We've got a lot of elves already. We're probably going to get more, and Eyeblight Massacre can be a pretty big beating in this format. Another Force Mage. I'm sure we'll pick one up eventually, but now we take an Eyeblight Massacre. It's too bad they don't still have tribal cards, and this isn't like a tribal card that we can actually ramp into with our Gnarl Root Trapper, but I guess it's okay that it's not the case. Be nice to pick up a Shaman of the Pack. We've ended up with enough elves to make that a thing. It'd also be nice to get Dwynen's Elite. Probably the best of the elf synergies in this format is Dwynen's Elite. But we don't currently have one. And they are uncommon, and they're fairly high picks. I mean, they're 2 mana 2/2s who can make a 1/1 token if you control an elf, so it's usually a pretty good deal. Okay, Cruel Revival is good. Titanic Growth is good. Another Nissa's Pilgrimage. We take Cruel Revival. We do have 1 zombie so far, and we may end up with more. So we'll take Cruel Revival as another good 5 mana removal spell here. Read the Bones and Titanic Growth are both worth thinking about, but aren't terribly exciting. And we're pretty aggressive, I think. I don't think we want to be Read the Bonesing on turn 3 most of the time. Okay, here I think we take an Empath, another elf, but a very good one, a big value elf that can help us draw cards and smooth out our draws in general. And Hitchclaw Recluse is good too, but I take the Empath here. We do definitely want some more 2-drops. Hopefully we can get some in the final pack. Well, there's that gold card, but not exactly ours. I think I'd probably just take Foundry of the Consuls here. It's another land with a good ability, and I think I like that over everything else in this pack. I don't really like Dark Dabbling. Aerial Volley is a good sideboard card, but Foundry has a good chance to get mainboarded. Elvish Visionary is what we take here. Blue is pretty open. We saw Claustrophobia late in pack 1. We see one late here too, but we'll just take a Visionary. We do need 2-drops, and it's a good one. Okay. Here I'm inclined to take Zendikar Incarnate, and we may try to splash it. If we do splash it, we probably need to cut one of our colorless lands. We could also splash Possess Skaab instead. Either one of them is splashable, but I think I'll take the Incarnate. It seems more in line with what our deck wants to be doing. And now we'll take a Might of the Masses, a good combat trick for our deck. And now I'll take Enshrouding Mist, just because I think it's the best card left. And same with Heavy Infantry. And Calculated Dismissal. So if the Royal is in here, or Incarnate rather, is in here, that's where it would be. It is a nice big beater, and unlike most of the gold cards, it and Possess Skaab are both cards where even if you're splashing, they're not bad to play on turn 4 like some of the others are. Like, you don't want to not be able to play Oroas as champion on turn 3 usually. But if you can't play your Zendikar Incarnate right away, it's not a huge deal. Okay, Relic Seeker, that's a pretty good card, but not what we're looking for. Although this pack is amazingly weak for us. A first pick Titanic Growth looks possible, and I'm not really inclined to take that at all. I mean, just it's weird to take as a first pick, but it may be what we take here. This pack's really strong for white and red. They have Suppression Bonds, Relic Seeker, so again, a white player is going to be pretty happy that I'm passing to them. And red has Thopter Engineer and Fire Fiend Elemental. But every other color is pretty underrepresented here. I think I just take a Titanic Growth, like I said, as a combat trick that can be used as removal and, help me get in for lethal at times. So we take a first pick Titanic Growth, which is weird. Okay, well, this is a hard one. We either take Valeron Wardens, Elvish Visionary, or Leaf Gilder. And those are all very good creatures. Valeron Wardens doesn't have a huge amount of synergy with our deck. We have one other Renown creature. I mean, I know it's good on its own, but it's at its best when you have a bunch of Renown. And even just having it hang back nets you some value, I think, is when it's at its best. I think we actually take Leaf Gilder here. Our curve's kind of high. It's a 2-drop, and it can help us ramp a little bit. So we're definitely going to take the Leaf Gilder. Okay, Conclave Naturalists is good, and it's what we will take here for sure. It's usually going to have something to blow up in this format. There's so many good auras and enchantments, which isn't usually the case. So, right, a Fiery Impulse this late, huh? That's kind of nuts. I think we just take Way to the Underworld here. It's nothing super exciting, but it's fine. It's another removal spell. It may get cut, but it's fine. Okay, now we have another Valeron Wardens, and here I think I do take it over another Way to the Underworld. Another Royal. We also have a Bounding Crassus, which we could also try to splash for, but there's also a Rabid Bloodsucker, which I don't really want to play. I think I just take the Crassus on the small chance that we splash it, and on this, I don't think we're going to splash that either, but and to keep it from going to someone else. Probably don't play the Pilgrimage. Almost all of our creatures survive when we cast Eyeblight. What is it called? Massacre? I always want to call it Eyeblight's Ending. That's an older card. Oh, another Eyeblight Massacre. I think that's what we got to take, right? Might of the Masses is nice, but we have one already. We are kind of low on creatures, which kind of is awkward. But we do now have another one of those. Shadows of the Past seems like it would be okay in our deck, but we do really want creatures. We have like 2 Wild Instincts and Might of the Masses, so I think I actually just take Guardian Automaton because we need creatures. And nothing really here. I'm not going to play a Sidearm. I'll just take the Scrapskin Drake. I think it's the best card left. Okay, great. An Elvish Visionary made it back to us. Getting more creatures is good. Usually you have more than 15 in this format. I'll take another one of these. I really only like to play one of them, but if we have to have 2, we have to have 2. I think the Royal probably doesn't make it in our deck. This Way to the Underworld probably won't make it into our deck. I'm just sort of looking through it now. Yeah, those are sort of the early cuts. I have to look at how many elves I have to decide if I want the Gnarl Root Trapper. I don't know that we have enough for it. I'll take Mantle of the Webs in case I play an opponent with lots of flyers and very little removal. I guess Nightsmare's better than Demolish. We only ended up with 1 Timberpack Wolf, which is kind of sad. I mean, he's fine on his own at least. He's not like some of the others who you need to have multiple copies of to really be playable. He's fine, but not terribly exciting. Yeah, we probably ended up with enough elves to run Gnarl Root Trapper. It's important to remember it can also give things Death Touch, so like I can trade my Elvish Visionary for, you know, a really good creature on my opponent's side, things like that. Okay, lots of 4-drops, which can happen in this format. I don't think I want to run 2 Centaurs. One, I don't even usually run 1, but I think one will make it into this deck. And okay, so let's look how many elves we have. We have a Llanowar Empath, Eyeblight Assassin, Deadbridge Shaman, Leaf Gilder, Elvish Visionary, and Gnarl Root Trapper. Can't give it self-death touch though, right? Yeah, and it's only attacking elves, so it's not as good as it could be. But I think it's still enough to help us ramp into our 3 and 4 drops and to make them less blockable when they're attacking. I think I run it. I think that's enough elves. Also survives our 2 Eyeblights Massacres, which is pretty good. So I do kind of wish I'd picked up that early Shaman of the Pack we saw. I didn't know that we were going to go into this and it was actually going to like work out for us. I think we leave Rogue's Passage in. It's really good with Valeron Wardens and Undercity Troll and Conclave Naturalists. Even just, you know, any creature can get pretty problematic for an opponent when they can't block it. So I think we run it and the Foundry of the Consuls. Sort by color. We definitely have more green, but we have so much double black, and we only have single green. So I think it's actually a little closer. I think we probably want half and half, basically. And yeah, maybe even 8-7 is what we're looking at here. Yeah, I think that's probably where we go. I mean, we only ever need one forest, but we need double black for 4 really important spells in our deck. So 8-7 is probably right. Does make me a little worried. I mean, maybe I should cut the Foundry. And I guess I think I will. The Rogue's Passage I think fits better in our deck. I mean, the Foundry's good, but if I had to pick between them for this particular deck, that's the way I would go. Wait a second. How many do we have here? 8 and... Oh, I just took one out. But I think we want 8 and 8. So... Whoa, I just did that wrong. Yeah, this is what we want. Let's double check. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think that's good. Because we do want to be able to play our 2-drops that are mostly green. Actually, they're all green on turn 2, like all the time. So not having one of our colors could be pretty frustrating. So, all right, that is our deck. Black-green elf deck, basically, with a few elvish synergies, but not a huge number of them. Thanks for watching. I will see you for round 1, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.